Brian, I've heard and read this statement, I hate annuities and you should too. Can you expand on that?
Oh, absolutely. I've had a lot of people come in to talk about their financial planning, and one of the first things they say is exactly that. I hate annuities. I'm like, really? Okay. What is an annuity? I don't know, but you hate them. Can you tell me a reason or two why you hate them? Well, they're not good. I'm like, oh, okay. And why is that? And we kind of get to the point where, well, I don't know. I just keep seeing these ads saying I hate annuities and you should too. I say, okay. What that is there's an investment advisory company out there who only sells stock market investments and not annuities, and they put this out there to get clients, and they spend more on marketing than any other registered investment advisory firm in the country. So this is advertising that you're repeating to me right now. You've been conditioned to say, I hate annuities and you should too, because Ken Fisher says, I hate annuities and you should too. Well, Ken Fisher doesn't sell annuities. And I would ask this about pretty much anything that you like or dislike. Is anything perfect out there and completely imperfect? No, especially in the investment world. So annuities are simply an investment product offered by an insurance company as opposed to an investment product offered by a Wall Street company. Wall Street investments tend to be more liquid with more growth potential. Insurance company products tend to be more secure and have potentially better cash flow. So depending on what you want, you might like one, you might not like the other, and vice versa. But just to make the blanket statement, you hate an entire investment class because Ken Fisher told you so, really doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Brian, who are annuities best suited for?
Well, it's interesting in that conversation about I hate annuities, you should too. Well, what if you, being the client, is a 90-year-old widow who's really concerned about the volatility of the stock market? Should they hate annuities? Let's see, safety, security, cash flow potentially? Probably not. They probably should hate the stock market, because if they're worried about volatility, the stock market's way more volatile than the other investment categories. So again, it depends on who we're talking about. But annuities are best suited for two particular situations. One where you want secure money. I want to make an investment into something that cannot lose money, and I want returns that will likely be much higher than a CD. What do you have for me? Well, that's easy. A fixed index annuity can accomplish that. Or I might have somebody that says, I have a chunk of money either in my retirement account or my non-retirement account. I would like to get a check, a monthly check for the rest of my life, because I don't have a pension. I would like to have a pension-like asset that I can invest in. And so that would be a situation where an annuity would kick in. And maybe they say, I want a check for the rest of my life, one that goes up to combat inflation over time. And if I pass away prematurely, I want it to go to my spouse. Can you do that? I said, yes, I can do that through an insurance company product called an annuity. I cannot do that with a Wall Street product.
Brian, that sounds pretty good, but why would someone not want to do an annuity?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody likes security pretty much, but with security comes a cost. You don't have the upside. So the stock market has a much higher upside than an annuity for an investment purpose. And also, conversely, everybody thinks getting monthly checks for life sounds like a good idea, but they might be able to get more money out of properly placed investments in the stock market or real estate than they can from a secure thing like an annuity. So with every positive, there's a negative. So with an annuity, if you're getting monthly checks, it's possible you could have got more returns on investing in the stock market and so forth, but not a guarantee. So if you want more of the guarantee, you go with an annuity. If you're not concerned about a guarantee, then you go with the stock market investments. So statistically, the detriment to annuities is over the long haul, they won't have as high of an investment internal rate of return as stock market and real estate market investments. However, they're more secure and predictable.
Who is an annuity best suited for? Who can take the best advantage of the opportunity that an annuity offers?
Yeah, so I remember we were talking about real estate in other videos and how early in life, we want to maybe have more active real estate where we're more involved and trying to have more growth. Later in life, we want the more secure and diversified, higher cash flow, passive real estate. Same thing could be said for Wall Street versus insurance company products. So in our early years, if I'm talking to a 20-year-old, a 30-year-old, a 40-year-old, I'm not talking about annuities, I'm talking about the markets and real estate. I think you should be heavy in markets and real estate, not worry about bonds and annuities. But as you age, that might change. So in your 50s, you might start talking about doing a fixed index annuity with lifetime cash flow, kind of designing one for the future on that. Or as you're older, you might want to have more safe investments that aren't subject to the whims of the market. So even that can change over time, much like our analysis of real estate investing as we age. Same thing could be true for stock market versus annuities. And so annuities aren't for everybody, but for most people want to take some of their chips off the table. I've made enough money, as long as I don't screw it up, my retirement's fine. How can I add some security to my investment strategy? Well, the annuity can be that tool in the toolbox that adds the security that person needs to make sure that they feel okay in their retirement years.
Brian, annuities sound like they offer some interesting opportunities. Can you give me an example of a client that you've helped by using annuities?
Yeah, I've helped a lot of people with annuities, and I'm agnostic as to whether my clients invest in the stock market, if they want bonds, of course, real estate, passive, active, they own businesses, they have annuities, fixed index universal life policies, whatever works, okay? But there's probably going to be a mix. So kind of, I feel like almost an ideal situation when I've worked with a client for a while and maybe we update their financial plan, and they were in their 401k plan was in stocks and bonds their whole life, but they were nervous about that, given they were retiring and they didn't want to ever go back to work if something went wrong, a crash in the market or whatever. And so when I look at their portfolio and I see, wow, they've got maybe 50% in the stock market primarily, U.S. Large, mid, and small cap companies, not so much foreign or bonds. Oh, and I see they have a fixed index annuity that gives them a percentage of the increase of the S&P 500 every year with a floor of 0. They can never lose money, and it's doing way better than the CD alternative. And then I see that they have a fixed index annuity for cash flow for life, second to die, and if they both die prematurely, the undispersed portion with the gains goes to their heirs plus an additional life insurance features. I see that. I see the fixed index universal life policy in their portfolio offering lifetime cash flow that's income tax free. And finally, I see the DST that came from them selling their rental house, that they're getting cash flow on that without having to lift a finger, and some money into different real estate investment trusts. So when I see a portfolio that combines all the attributes that are awesome, whether it's we're trying to solve for growth, liquidity, cash flow, security, or tax savings, and I've got all of them in there, I feel like that's a huge win, rather than just saying I hate everything except for the stuff I sell and get paid for, which is what the I hate annuities and you should too guy is trying to say.
Brian, thanks for telling us more about annuities.